Hello, you're watching The Movie Surgeon. Today we're looking at 365 days. But before we start, subscribe and stick on the notification bell for more juicy content. Unfortunately, it was recently suggested to me that I should watch 365 Days, which has risen to the top of Netflix. I was told that this film was simply so awful that I had to make a video about it. I'd also been told that it was 50 Shades of Grey meets Beauty and the Beast, and I thought that a combination of cinema like that would almost definitely make me want to be sick, and I was correct. So let's go. This is my review of 365 Days. I'll just give you the basic premise to get us all up to speed. There's a weirdo who goes by the name of Massimo. This weirdo became the head of a mob of gangsters after his dad was hilariously murdered at the start of the film. Around the time of his dad's death, this weirdo saw a woman in a dream and became obsessed. 5 years later, this weirdo sees a woman identical to the woman of his dreams outside an airport. This woman being Polish holidaymaker Laura, who Massimo then stalks and kidnaps. He then tells her that she'll be held captive for 365 days until she falls in love with him. A little while later, after a scuffle on a boat, Laura falls overboard into some very calm seas, and our hero, Massimo, dives in and saves her. Then after that, Laura couldn't resist anymore and falls madly in love with him. Bish bash bosh, a couple of months go by, and then Laura gets killed by some opposing Italian mafia gang. The end. And when it does end, you're just left to pick your jaw up off the floor and wonder what on earth it was that you just watched, and what the hell sort of message that film is even trying to give. Our boy Massimo has an extremely seductive catchphrase that goes like this.
Are you lost, baby girl?
It's so poetic that it's no wonder that she fell in love with him. But jokes aside for a second, I have no idea whatsoever how the film wanted me to perceive this man. He said things like, "You'll be mine, I'll do anything I want with you," whilst forcefully grabbing Laura's neck whilst she was held captive. He seemed like a seriously sick and demented man, but was sort of presented as a hopeless romantic. It was a very weird take on a movie, and I still don't get how his character was supposed to make me feel. To me, the core theme of this film was about his romantic needs, and I wasn't sure if he was meant to be portrayed as someone we hate, or as someone we're cheering on to get the girl. And I'm not sure what the audience is supposed to get from this, other than if you want a girl, it's just best to kidnap her, then sexually terrorize her, and buy her expensive things until she falls in love with you. It's been a long time since a film's premise has made me feel this uncomfortable. Also, what's with the mysterious power he's got where he just appears and disappears? Look, he just appears, out of absolutely nowhere. And he does that a few times in the film, but he doesn't actually have any superpowers or anything, so it just comes across as funny. When I see it, I just imagine him quickly jumping in and out from behind walls and bushes in a really creepy way, thinking he's the most mysterious man in the world. Other than Massimo being a complete weirdo disguised as a romantic lead, there's nothing else to this film. Laura is pretty two-dimensional, and there's not really much plot, it's just porn. That's all it is. Filthy pornography. At least 30% of the film must just be sex scenes, and you get more in-depth plots on Pornhub. Since watching the film, I've done some research of my own, and I found that the reaction to the film is even weirder than the film itself. All you have to do is type in 365 Days movie into YouTube, and you get absolutely loads of fan edits of the movie. Also, a lot of edits of already famous songs, with clips of this film cut together to make a fan music video. And these have millions of views. I am very, very confused about what's going on. Also, some of the popular comments on YouTube are horrendous. And again, if you search the film on Twitter, some of the popular tweets are just as weird. People are loving the film and Massimo, not because it's fun to laugh at and make jokes about, which is what I expected to find, but because they actually love it. People are oozing lustful comments towards this character, and he's become an icon in some online communities. I don't know what's going on here, maybe I'm uncultured. From what I'd heard about this movie, I was expecting a low-budget B-movie, but I have to give credit where credit's due. The production is okay. It's got some really nice locations and it's shot okay, but that's it for me on the compliments for today. The music was a big issue for me. At first they had this sort of repetitive piano music that just sounded cheap and rubbish. Then littered throughout the film was this poppy, emotional, happy music that just made me hate the film even more. It just made me think, what if the music in this film was changed? What if they used the music that you get in horror films? I'll tell you what, it'd be a completely different film. It'd be terrifying. People would see the film for what it actually is. A film about a nonce that kidnapped a woman for sex. A terrifying concept. But no, We've got cheerful music and bright lighting, so everyone's just going to completely ignore how utterly terrifying the concept of this film actually is. It's a sad reality that we're now genuinely living in a world where the floor is lava and 365 Days are competing for the top spot on Netflix. I'll conclude by saying this: that film sucks. Literally. And it feels like it was written by a weirdo who can't get laid. And that's all I'll say. If I had to rate this film, I'd give it a solid, oh Jesus, what? Out of? Nice. You have been watching The Movie Surgeon, thanks for joining me, but don't leave the channel here, click on some of my other videos and have a look about. Make sure to subscribe and stick on the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload. I'm also very open to suggestions of films to cover on my channel, so let me know in the comments what sort of videos you'd like to see. See you soon, bye!